YouTube land. Hey, today we're going to learn how to make some poster hanging devices, or whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to basically do is we're going to mount these to these really pretty temple drawings that my daughter did, and then we're going to later on, either drill holes or you can connect it right through here. You can kind of do a little notch in here, or my daughter's going to get some little screws and put on the ends. So however you want to hang this, you can do some hemp or some pretty ribbon or whatever you want to do. Anyway, so what we're going to do first is we're going to start out with stain. And I've already stained some pieces, so these are done. So I'm going to show you how I got that color, because these were just a natural wood. So I'm going to use this board, and last night we did some practice. So we did some darker finish and we did some lighter here. So what you do is and you can use a brush if you'd like. I don't like the brushes because the hairs come out in the stain, and it's much quicker just to grab this. If you have a pair of gloves, I would recommend using some gloves. I'm not going to do it for this step because I can do it without getting too messy. So you just apply your stain like that. Make sure you shake your can up, because a lot of the stain could be on the bottom and you won't get a nice finish with it. So you take that stain, you apply it like that. If you like the color, then great, you can go with that. If you want to add some more, just dip in there and get some more and apply more stain on there. Now you can get it kind of to the finish you want, and you can let it dry. If you want it darker, let that dry and then come back and do another coat. And step 2 on that process, if you don't want it so dark, you can let it sit for a little while, maybe like 10 minutes or so, and then come back and just kind of rub it off, so that you don't have any marks from the paper towel. And then you can come up with a lighter finish, which is what I did last night to kind of get that look with these boards. Okay, so now the next step is we're going to apply glue along the bottom of the paper here and the top. And I've chosen to use some Gorilla Glue. You can use like Elmer's or wood glue, but I think Gorilla Glue is going to hold the best. But with Gorilla Glue, what you need to do is you need to add a little moisture. So I've pre-moistened this paper towel, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on the bottom of this piece here. Now I went ahead and I've marked. You can't see it on here, but I've marked little marks here because I want the top of the stick to go there. There was a little more spacing down here, so I wanted to have the stick a little higher, and there's a lot of spacing up here. So up here I'm just going to use the edge of the stick. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll just add a thin layer. Now the Gorilla Glue, you got to be careful because it expands. So you just want just a little bit. It'll expand like 3 to 5 times what it is on there. So you just do a little line of Gorilla Glue on there. You can come back and apply more if you didn't apply some in some areas. And then you just take your stick and you line it up with the lines. You try to center it side to side. Try to get it nice and centered. And when you have it the right distance on each side, and then you put it down on your marks. And you press down. And then I like to take some books and take a couple of books and we'll put on there carefully so that you don't move the stick. You don't want it to move, and then it's going to be crooked. And whatever you have. I like the books because it keeps it flat. Cans, if you put cans on there, it might indent the wood, so I probably wouldn't do that. And then we'll come up here, make sure that might need to be moistened again. The reason why it needs to be moistened is because Gorilla Glue needs water to kind of activate it. But if you did like a wood glue, or if you did just a regular Elmer's glue, of course you wouldn't have to do that step. So let's get it here. So basically, you're just going to do the same thing as you did on the bottom. And then get that glue on there. And then this one I'm just going to line up even with the top of the paper. Make sure the side to side's good. And then just place that Place it down on there. And then, once again, put the books on. I'll be coming up with more fun things, more craft ideas for you. So if you want to follow and subscribe, that'd be awesome. Thanks. Okay, so we're on to our next step. I don't know if it's step 3 or 4 or we're on C or D or what step, but here we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to attach these little eyelets to the top of the wood right here. So I've already done one, and I've attached what we're going to use. We're going to use hemp for this one just to have a nice kind of, I don't know, simple look, like a minimalist look. You could use like suede like these. I have some leather, you could do that, but we decided to just go with the hemp here. So what you do is you can pre-drill a hole in this if you want to. Use a very tiny drill bit, but I've just decided, and I did this one without pre-drilling it, so I decided we just go ahead and do that. So I want to kind of center it in between the paper and the edge right there. And you want to push pretty hard when you're doing this so that it'll start to make contact and it'll start to bite. So when you just push down in, keep turning it. The first couple of times it might pop out, but as you keep adding pressure and continue to do that, it'll start to bite, and then every turn it'll go down in better. So there we go. Now it's making it good. So while we're doing this, I can tell you a joke, but I don't know any good ones right now. But that's the tea, sis. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, now we'll attach our hemp, and I've already pre-cut this to the size I want, so you can kind of look at that and see, what you like to do. What I decided to do with this one was to just kind of turn the string, maybe get like, I don't know, 3 inches or so, and then just kind of twist it on to the rope. Kind of like Twisted Sister. And then when you get to the top, then I just take and fold it back in on itself. And you can do this however you want. You can just tie it off if you want, but I just like how it looked. Just kind of wrapping it and then folding it back in underneath those like that. So it just has kind of a nice look like that. You might need to glue it, but the other side I think I did a little better than this side here. Okay, and then when you're done, so we were bouncing around some ideas, me and my daughters, that you could put a bead in here before you tie this on. You could put a bead on here. I could do it later. I could just undo this and then add a bead later. But you could find the center and then put the bead there, and then just you'd push the bead down like that, and then you could hang it right there if you wanted to do that, or you can make a knot in this right now. I'll probably wait because I think I want to do a bead, but I could do a knot there and make that work that way. So whatever you want to do. My next project is going to be my special beef jerky recipe. So that'll be Dirk's Jerk coming up. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. My daughter, gonna fight for space here. I'm going to win. So here we go. This is what finished project. Just hang that up, and there you go. And you could do any kind of picture you want. Doesn't have to be LDS temples, although they're really cool. All right. Thanks for watching. All right, there you have it. This is Dirk's day off, and glad you came to spend some time with me. And as the kids say, that's it, sis.